Janeway's complete Star Trek timeline explained. Star Trek, Voyager made Captain Catherine Janeway Kate Mulgrew the first female captain to lead a Star Trek TV series. Known for a fierce protective streak, loose interpretation of Starfleet's prime directive, and a penchant for coffee black, Catherine Janeway cut a bold path through the Delta Quadrant as captain of the USS Voyager. After the USS Voyager and Maquis Raider Valjean were flung across the galaxy, Captain Janeway and Commander Chakotay Robert Beltran combined their Starfleet and Maquis crews into a single crew that worked together to survive the 70,000 light-year journey back to the Alpha Quadrant. Captain Janeway's guiding principle as a leader was the promise to return the USS Voyager crew back home to Earth and protect them at all costs on the projected 75-year trek. With a background as a science officer, Janeway encouraged exploration of the Delta Quadrant's truly strange new worlds and never-before-seen anomalies. Captain Janeway's leading Starfleet principles of cooperation and communication helped her crew uncover their full potential, from Maquis officers like Lt. B'Elanna Torres Roxanne Dawson or X-Borg Drone 7 of 9 Jerry Ryan. Later, Admiral Janeway's firm but thoughtful leadership made her a great mentor to young cadets. Catherine Janeway's life before Star Trek. Voyager before 2370. After graduating from Starfleet Academy in 2357, Ensign Janeway served as a science officer on the USS Al-Battani under the command of Captain Owen Paris Richard Hurd. Janeway's early Starfleet career was not without mishaps, but Catherine took each mistake as a new learning experience. By the 2360s, Janeway considered Lieutenant Tuvok a valued friend and kept in contact with him while Tuvok was posted to Jupiter Station. The 2360s also saw Janeway's promotion to commander along with a transfer to the USS Billings, where Commander Janeway was responsible for leading away missions. Captain Janeway led USS Voyager through the Delta Quadrant 2371 to 2378. In 2371, Captain Catherine Janeway's first command was the Intrepid-class USS Voyager, a science vessel designed for short-term exploration. Voyager's first mission was supposed to be the quick recovery of Chakotay's Maquis Raider, but both starships were swept to the Delta Quadrant by the Caretaker, a sporocystian life form seeking a mate. To protect the Caretaker's charges, the Ocampa Janeway destroyed the Caretaker's array, their only ticket back to the Alpha Quadrant. Captain Janeway allowed the adventurous Ocampa Kez Jennifer Lean and Talaxian chef Neelix Ethan Phillips to be guides to the unknown Delta Quadrant. In 2373, Captain Janeway formed an alliance with the Borg, facilitated by 7 of 9 Jerry Ryan after Janeway refused to be assimilated as part of the agreement. In exchange for safe passage across Borg space, Captain Janeway helped the Borg defeat species 8472, a species native to fluidic space who were resistant to assimilation. After liberating 7 of 9 from the collective, Janeway became a positive influence on 7, despite Janeway and 7's fraught relationship indicating otherwise. Janeway's defiance and protective instincts made the Borg Queen Susanna Thompson Janeway's biggest adversary in the Delta Quadrant. Janeway's mission to bring the USS Voyager home got a huge boost in 2374 when Voyager made contact with Starfleet Command using an abandoned Hirogen subspace relay station. Although this attracted the attention of the predatory Hirogen, letters from the Alpha Quadrant boosted morale among most of Voyager's crew. In one message from home, Janeway learned that her fiancé, Mark, had moved on when the USS Voyager was lost. That same year, Starfleet supposedly sent the experimental USS Dauntless to bring Voyager back home. The Dauntless was an alien ruse, but its quantum slipstream drive helped advance Federation transwarp technology. In 2378, the USS Voyager arrived back in the Alpha Quadrant, and Catherine Janeway was promoted to Admiral. Besides cutting a 75-year journey down to just 7 years, Captain Catherine Janeway was responsible for Starfleet's first contact with more alien species than any other captain since James T. Kirk William Shatner. Even without the support of Starfleet Command, Captain Janeway was stubbornly committed to upholding Federation ideals and making command choices that prioritized protecting her crew, even when the alternative would have been easier. Future Admiral Janeway's timeline in Star Trek. Voyager's finale 2404. Few captains in Star Trek history have faced the cosmic crucible of command with the unflinching resolve of Kathryn Janeway. Played with steel and soul by Kate Mulgrew, Janeway stands as a paragon of leadership, scientist, explorer, diplomat, and occasionally temporal anomaly enthusiast. Her journey stretches across the Delta Quadrant, tangles with Borg queens, and dances along the edges of time travel paradoxes. Let's break down Janeway's full timeline from her earliest canonical moments to her most recent appearances in Star Trek lore. Pre-Voyager, the making of a captain. Born on May 20, 2336, in Bloomington, Indiana, Kathryn Janeway grew up with a passion for science and exploration. Influenced deeply by her father, Admiral Edward Janeway, she developed an early love of mathematics and cosmology. After graduating from Starfleet Academy, Janeway rapidly distinguished herself, eventually serving as a science officer and later as the first officer of the USS Al-Battani under Captain Paris, not to be confused with Voyager's Tom Paris. Her early career hinted at in Star Trek. Voyager episodes like Flashback and Coda portrays a brilliant officer willing to make hard decisions. These formative years shaped her pragmatic yet compassionate leadership style, qualities that would define her command of the USS Voyager. 2371, Star Trek, Voyager begins. Janeway's defining odyssey begins in 2371 when the Voyager is dispatched to track down a renegade Maquis ship. Both vessels are catapulted 70,000 light-years across the galaxy to the Delta Quadrant by the enigmatic Caretaker array. Stranded decades from home, Janeway faces an impossible decision in the series' pilot, Caretaker. Rather than use the array to return instantly to the Alpha Quadrant at the cost of alien lives, she destroys it, stranding her crew but upholding Starfleet's ethical principles. Thus begins a 7-year saga of survival, diplomacy, and scientific discovery. Janeway welds her Starfleet crew and Maquis rebels into a cohesive family, guiding Voyager through hostile regions, confronting the Borg Collective, unraveling temporal anomalies, and even dabbling in genetic engineering. Remember the infamous Threshold episode? Her relationships with Commander Chakotay, the holographic Doctor, and 7 of 9 become emotional anchors amidst the chaos of deep space travel. Key moments in Voyager. Throughout Voyager's run 2371 to 2378, Janeway's timeline is peppered with standout events that ripple across Star Trek canon. Scorpion 2373 to 2374, Janeway forms an uneasy alliance with the Borg to combat species 8472, demonstrating her capacity for ruthless pragmatism when survival is at stake. Year of Hell 2374, a near-apocalyptic two-parter where Janeway sacrifices herself and Voyager to reset the timeline, embodying her unyielding sense of duty. Dark Frontier 2375, Janeway orchestrates a daring heist inside Borg space, strengthening her maternal bond with 7 of 9 and cementing her reputation as a fearless tactician. 2378, Return to the Alpha Quadrant. In Voyager's finale Endgame, a future Admiral Janeway from 2404 travels back in time to help her younger self bring the crew home faster by leveraging advanced technology and decisively confronting the Borg Queen. Thanks to this intervention, Voyager returns to Earth in 2378 after 7 long years. While this splits the timeline into alternate futures, canon treats their successful homecoming as the definitive outcome. Post-Voyager, Admiral Janeway's legacy. Following Voyager's return, Kathryn Janeway is promoted to Vice Admiral. She appears briefly in Star Trek Nemesis 2379, where she assigns Captain Picard and the Enterprise E their diplomatic mission to Romulus. This cameo subtly cements her continued influence in Starfleet's strategic affairs.